Yes, the best weight loss plan in the world is also the easiest. It also has the best chance for long-term success. This is Fit from FitMart Fitness. We got a lot to go over in a short time period, so get your pen and paper ready. Well, the absolute first thing you need to do is get out of the mindset of dieting. I don't care what kind of diet you're planning on getting on, whether it's a vegetarian diet, an Atkins diet, a Weight Watchers diet, something you saw off The Biggest Loser, or a Paleo Diet. The problem with all of them is, one, they're hard, and two, the day you decide you're done with it and the day you quit is the day you will start regaining your weight. And trust me, you're eventually going to get burned out from this. The weight will eventually come back on. You will end up frustrated. So unless you're planning on continuing whatever diet you're on for life, there's no sense in really getting started in one. Do not set a weight loss goal. Weight loss goals are one of the most detrimental things you can do to your weight loss journey, and I'll tell you why. Very similar to the diet plans, weight loss goals have an end date. As soon as you say, I want to lose 10 pounds, you have set an end date for whatever lifestyle change you have just made. When you lose those 10 pounds or 15 or whatever you set, you immediately think, okay, I'm done, and you quit doing whatever you were doing to get there. And trust me, most people, they're doing something hard, they're on a hard diet plan, they're at some boot camp workout, I can just make it a few more days, I'll lose my 10 pounds. So already you're focused on the end, you're focused on quitting. And guess what? As soon as you quit, as soon as you stop, you're going to regain the weight, you're going to end up being very frustrated, and you're right back where you started from. The only goal I want you to set is, next year I want to be healthier and more fit than I was last year. And the year after that, you want to be eating a little bit healthier than you were the year before. We're going to progress you over the months and years to being healthier, making better choices, and being more fit without having to struggle through really anything. The first thing you need to realize is everything we do is about habits. Having good habits or having bad habits. A smoker has a bad habit. If you've never smoked, you don't desire to smoke, therefore it's easy not to smoke. What we as Americans have are bad choices in eating. The food that we eat in America is very, very bad for you, and over the years we've developed habits eating this bad food, which has caused our weights just to balloon over the last few decades to a tremendous amount of obesity. So what we're going to do here is teach you how to make better choices with your food, slowly over time. You do not change all your habits at once. That's just a quick way to get frustrated. That's the same thing as going on a diet. Don't even think in that direction. What I want you to do is just simply, over time, start replacing things that are bad for you with things that are good for you. Let me just give an example from my life. When I was a child, I would only eat white bread. And not just white bread, that little sunbeam stuff that, perfectly flat, perfectly white, it's nothing but pure gluten. And later in life, someone gave me whole grain bread to eat on a sandwich. I actually spit it on the floor. I thought it was so bad. I wasn't going to taste none of that brown bread mess. Well, a few years ago, I decided to start eating whole wheat bread and whole grain breads instead of white bread. Nowadays, if I actually taste any Sunbeam or Wonder Bread, it tastes like paste to me, and I just cannot stand the thought of eating it. So let me tell you, right now in my life, it is really easy not to eat white bread because I don't like it and I don't want it. So what we're going to do for you is to show you the most critical foods that you need to change out in your life, how to do it one at a time, and where you replace it with something that's good for you so that you've actually changed your eating habits and haven't had to starve any or give up eating a lot of food or feeling hungry all the time. And the beauty is, as you improve, as each habit gets better, you no longer miss the old habit. So you're just eating the way you want to, and it's better, and you're losing weight all at the same time. The number one most important change out that you can make in your life has nothing to do with your eating habits and everything to do with what you drink. Eliminating sweetened drinks is the single most important thing you can do to meet your weight loss desires. Sweetened drinks, the average American consumes between 500 and 1,000 calories a day just by drinking soft drinks or sweetened tea or Kool-Aid or these other drinks with their meals. Wipe out those sweetened drinks and just drink water. Now, most folks can't stand just water all day long. They need a little caffeine. That's fine. Unsweetened tea is also fine. Unsweetened coffee is fine. You can even have a little bit of juice in the morning. Unsweetened doesn't mean it has to be bland. I actually use a product called stevia in my tea and my coffee. Stevia is not an artificial sweetener. It is 0 calorie. It's a little more expensive than sugar, but I buy it in bulk. I make a gallon of tea for breakfast or at breakfast every morning and drink on it most of the day. And I just use the bulk stevia that I bought from online. You can also put a little bit of honey in your coffee. That's not going to hurt anything. For supper, I drink water only, and a lot of times at lunch, I drink water only. If you're desperate for a little flavor to it, you take a cranberry juice and just put a splash into it to make it a little bit of flavor. Folks, as I've said before, you can save 500 to 1,000 calories a day just on this alone. Do not drink soft drinks, and that includes diet drinks, for a whole litany of reasons. To save time on this video, I'm going to reference my video on Are Soft Drinks Bad For You? I suggest you watch it. It will show you the science behind why this stuff is so bad. Make this one change, and don't do anything else for the next few months. You will probably notice some weight loss from this all by itself. Furthermore, after between 3 and 6 months, you will lose the desire for soft drinks and sweetened drinks. You'll end up finding out they taste kind of like syrup. You won't want them. And as I've said before, it's real easy to give up something you don't want. So at that point in time, then move on to something else. All right, next, let's look at carbohydrates. Are carbs really bad for you? Yes. Bad carbs are bad for you. Good carbs aren't bad for you. It depends on the type of carb. So a lot of these low-carb diets, they just wipe out all carbs from your diet to make sure you don't get the bad ones. We like to make it a lot easier. Just don't eat the bad ones. And it's real easy to remember what are bad carbs because they'll all start with the term white. White bread, white rice, and white potatoes. These things are very, very bad for you. I've got another video called Are Carbs Bad For You? And I suggest you watch it. I'll go into a lot more of the science and the detail, how it affects your insulin levels and how it affects your sugar spikes. But for the purpose of this video, you want off of them. The fun part is you don't have to quit them cold turkey. Just replace them with things. Replace white bread with 100% whole wheat bread. Replace white rice with brown rice. Replace white potatoes with sweet potatoes. Now, I'll admit it was kind of hard to get off the potatoes, and I still struggle with that sometimes. But that's also a really, really bad food, white potatoes. Also, with the getting rid of the white bread, that means no white flour. So your pasta is going to be this enriched white flour. You need to be finding whole wheat pasta or corn pasta or some other type of gluten-free pasta. Just remember, no white bread. That also includes your cakes and your other stuff too, so keep that in mind. Okay, a quick note about trans fats. Trans fat is pure poison. You need to have a zero tolerance for this stuff. I wouldn't eat any more trans fat than I would eat cyanide. The stuff is very, very detrimental to the body, detrimental to your weight, and detrimental to a whole list of health effects to you. What is a trans fat? Well, the good news is most packages list the amount of trans fat on them now. And because they're required to list that, a lot of companies are getting away from using it. Common trans fat that you're probably going to face a lot is margarine. Margarine is basically pure trans fat. Anything that has the word hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated on the label is a trans fat. Uh, Butter's not a great thing. It's a lot better for you than margarine is. Smart Balance makes a product out there that is not butter and it has no hydrogenated stuff in it or trans fat, so you can go that route. A lot of snacks and chips and stuff you find, a lot of processed foods have it in it, so just check the label on the bag. Check the label. Really, you should get in the habit of doing that when you shop anyway. Look for zero trans fat or look for nothing written in the ingredients that says hydrogenated. We're going to quickly go over some other things you can swap out. And remember, the rule is once you've made a new habit, you can change another habit. So don't try to do everything at one time. You don't have to do all the carbs at one time. Make one change. When you no longer desire that item, then move on to another change. Okay, we're going to give a few things here else you can do that are very beneficial. Get rid of cooking with vegetable oil and that cheap Wesson oil and stuff. You want to go strictly olive oil. Olive oil for anything that involves oil. The fun thing is olive oil actually has a nice flavor to it. I even pop my popcorn with olive oil. By the way, I make popcorn with olive oil. I put a little salt in it. I don't have to have potato chips anymore now. That kind of helped out with my potato issues. Another thing you can do is you really need to start eating at home. So limit your eating out to 2 times per week. Get in the habit of cooking meals at home. And at first, it doesn't really matter that you're not a professional cook and you don't have to cook super healthy. Just get in the habit of cooking at home. Over the years, you'll eventually learn to do all your shopping from the perimeter of a grocery store as opposed to the middle aisles. The perimeter is where all your fresh fruits, your fresh produce, your dairy, and all that good stuff is. But for now, first thing is you've got to get used to eating at home. So if you're having to make mac and cheese, you're making mac and cheese until you've got the habit developed of eating at home. And I'll say limit eating out to twice a week. Something else you want to limit to twice a week is desserts. If you're used to having an apple pie after lunch and then another dessert after dinner, that's a lot of sugar and a lot of calories. You want to maximize just twice a week having donuts or sugar or candy. A good thing to replace them with is fresh fruit. I love watermelon, I love blueberries, I love sweet fruits and peaches. It's perfectly fine to have these. As I've said, don't get on diets, don't get on calorie counting stuff. Quit worrying about counting calories. Just worry about eating healthy food. I'd much rather you eat 500 calories of peaches as opposed to 500 calories of Mrs. Smith's cookies or whatever else you're going to get there. Also, get in the habit of trying to eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Eat a helping of fruit or vegetable with each meal. Trying to stay in the fresh produce section. Frozen vegetables and fruits are fine. Canned if necessary. But you kind of want to stay away from the food that comes in boxes. Okay, let's do a quick recap of what we've learned here. First of all, you're going to get off diets. You're going to get off all these super crazy weight loss plans. And you're just going to start planning to eat better and healthier. The first thing you're going to do is get rid of soft drinks and sweetened drinks. When that's no longer a problem, you're going to move on to the other things I've listed in this video. You don't have to do them in any particular order. You find which one works for you, do that next. Make that change, and when that's no longer difficult, move on to the next one. This isn't going to happen overnight. This may take months. This will probably take years. But what you're going to be looking at is, I'm going to be healthier at the end of this year as I was at the beginning of this year. I'm going to be eating better at the end of the year than I am the beginning of the year. I'm going to weigh less at the end of the year than I do right now. Don't worry about the amount. Just worry about changing your lifestyle. And at the end of the year, you will feel better. You will be healthier. You will weigh less. And more importantly, you're not going to be struggling to do it. You're just going to be living the life that you enjoy and you prefer to live. You're not going to have this up and down weight loss. You're just going to continually be getting healthier and better. I would like you to see my other videos on this, such as are carbs bad for you? Are soft drinks bad for you? What you need to know about all weight loss plans. It'll provide a little bit more information on the things that we've kind of rushed through in this video. I would also be remiss to ignore exercise here. Exercise alone is probably the hardest way in the world to lose weight. You can get on a treadmill and go for a half hour wide open and have burned off the equivalent of a Snickers bar, or you could just not eat the Snickers bar. So stay away from these boot camp programs and sandy workouts and all this stuff that's promised to cause you to sweat off the pounds in a short period of time. Just like weight loss plans, you're not going to be able to keep up with that forever, so don't try. But you do need to be exercising. Ideally, the person needs to be working out 30 minutes a day, 6 to 7 days a week. Doing it every day makes it a habit. It's just something you do every day, and you don't end up dreading the workout day. But you don't have to start off with 30 minutes. Simply walking around the block for 10 to 15 minutes a day for starters is great. Doing that for months, great, till you've developed a habit. You'll find just doing that alone, you're going to be more active, you're going to feel better, you're going to drop a little extra weight, and by the way, getting in better shape makes you more active, which makes you burn more calories by doing other stuff. But eventually you want to work up to a 30-minute workout a day, and that can be any kind of workout you want. There is no workout plan that's better than the other as long as you're getting your heart and your lungs up. So it can be walking, running, swimming, biking, doing yoga, videos, tennis, or whatever else floats your boat. Anyhow, I hope this video was helpful to you. Please like it if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to my website. I'm also going to try to put a brief summary of this video on my website, which is fitmark.weebly.com. Thanks for watching, and everybody have a blessed day. May God bless you all.